Hello everyone, my name is Avinash. Welcome back my channel, The Learning Destinations, and in this sessions I'm going to cover a complete VPC creation using HashiCorp Terraform. Alright guys, so as I mentioned about the Terraform, it means I'm going to completely automate this task using the Terraform and there won't be any manual work. So I have already prepared the code and the instructions which we need to follow step by step, and the entire code and step has been already pushed to my GitHub repository AWS VPC Terraform. The resources which we are going to create under this VPC is we are going to create one public subnet and two private subnets. So basically I have divided it into one public subnet and that we take it as a web tier. We are going to see it later on under this tutorial, and there is a two private subnet that we act as a app subnet and the DV subnet. After that we are going to create one public route, one private route. This public subnet will be the part of this public route. It was this public subnet is going to associate with this public route, and this private subnet is going to associate with this private route. Now we will be creating one NAT gateway. NAT gateway will be assigned to the public subnet. However, the NAT gateway will be associated to this private subnet, private route as well. Then we are going to create one internet gateway. So in such a way, we are going to create the complete VPC using Terraform. Now we are going to perform these instructions step by step. Okay, perfect. So now it's time to test this code practically. And once you visit this GitHub repository, AWS VPC Terraform, you need to follow these steps. So the instruction has been already given here and we need to follow it one by one. There are some prerequisites. So before running this command, you need to make sure that the prerequisites has been already fulfilled. Okay. So the first thing is that you need to install the Terraform on your local system. So this is my local system and I will check whether Terraform is installed or not. I know I have already installed it. You need to make sure that the proper version and all. Okay, so I have already installed the Terraform. So one prerequisite has been already met. Then second thing is that you need to make sure you should have one AWS user which has the sufficient privileges to create all these resources. Okay, so I have already created one user called admin. Okay, this one, and it has the administrative access. It means it is able to create all the resources. Okay, now let me show you here. So if I go .aws directory and I okay, so there are different profile is given. So this is one of the profile, admin profile. Okay, so I am going to load this profile and rest of the commands I am going to execute it using that admin user. Okay, so now we are going to follow these instructions step by step. So firstly we need to clone this repository. So I'm going to run this command and I'm cloning this repository. So I have successfully cloned this repository and I'm going inside that. Okay, so these are my codes which we can see here. Let me explain the code. So I have created one separate file vpc.tf, and inside that we are going to create following resources. So basically I'm going to create one VPC, and then I am going to create one public subnet and two private subnet. One private subnet will act as a app subnet and one private subnet will act as a database subnet. However, this public subnet will act as a web tier, web subnet. Okay. After that, I am going to create one public route and one private route. So public route will be basically the public subnet will be the part of this public route, and private subnet will be the part of this private route, and that is what I have defined here under the public route table association. So basically I am associating here public route under the public route table and private subnet under the private route table. Since database subnet is also part of private, that is the reason that I am associating DB subnet as well inside the private route. After that, I am creating one VPC internet gateway, and here I am setting the CIDR range for internet gateway 0.0.0.0. So anyone from basically the internet can reach inside the VPC. Then I am creating the Elastic IP. And after that, I'm creating the NAT gateway, assigning this Elastic IP to NAT gateway. And finally, I am associating this NAT gateway to the private route table. So these are the resources which we are going to create through this Terraform script. Now let me explain the code. Okay, so it's a pretty simple code. It's a normal script which is given on HashiCorp official Terraform website for AWS cloud. Now one thing which I would like to highlight, that none of the value you can find that is hard coded here. Everything has been covered as a variable. Okay, so now let me give you one example. So let's assume this VPC cited in. So wherever you see this var value, it means you assume that the value is given as a variable, and those variable is covered under two files, variable.tf and terraform.tf vars file. Okay, so let's take example of this VPC cited range. Okay, so firstly you need to check here, it is defined here and the value is covered under the terraform.tf vars file. Okay, so wherever the variable is defined, you just assume that the value is given under the variables and the terraform.tf vars files. Now here guys, I would like to highlight one more thing. There are several ways to write the Terraform code. Here what I am following it, I am creating separately a Terraform file for each resources. However, you can go with the as a modules practice as well. What I mean to say here is basically you can create the folder by the name of modules, and inside that you can create, suppose you want to create one storage, so inside that you can create one storage folder under the module, and under the storage you can create a storage.tf file. Now you write all the tf code under the storage.tf file, and then you can call it this module under the main.tf file. That is also one of the way. However, I'm going with the separately separate file for each resources. So basically it totally depends on you. In whatever level you are comfort, just follow that practice. Okay, so now let's follow the second. So we have already gone inside this. Okay, now we need to initialize it. Let's initialize Terraform init. Perfect. So you can see now the message Terraform has been successfully initialized. Now we are going to run the next command is we run this Terraform init. Okay. I mean basically what it is saying, that review and customize the variable.tf file. So obviously I have kept the value as per my choice, right? But definitely when you clone this repository, you have different naming convention, so you just make sure to change the value inside the variables.tf file, and you can change the value under the tags and all. Okay, the name and all right, so let's go to now Terraform plan. So we are going to execute Terraform plan. Let's run this command. Okay, so total we are going to add 14, and you already know that the plus sign denotes that these resources is going to be created. Okay, now follow the next command, which is Terraform apply. We need to say yes. You can review once before typing yes. You can review that whether it is going to delete anything or it is going to create only. So those kind of things you can just check before writing yes, before saying yes. So it's going to create each resources, and resources getting created. Now it is creating NAT gateway. So basically, since I am explaining each and everything one by one, that is the reason that this sessions takes a little bit longer. Else, if you want to create the VPC, you can simply clone. You can simply clone this, right? And then changes the value. You change the value as per your requirement, and then just run Terraform plan and apply, and it will create hardly within 5 minutes, I guess. It won't take more than 5 minutes. And within the 5 minutes, you will have complete VPC ready. Okay, so now we can see that total 14 resources has been completed, and we have successfully executed this Terraform command. Now the same we can cross verify in our AWS. So I'm going to visit the VPC section first. And here we check the resources whether it is created or not. So VPC POC, this resources is created. Okay, that is what we have given the name here. let me show you VPC name, and VPC name we can check from here. Okay, VPC POC, so that is created. Now we go to subnet, and we have the subnet like web subnet, app subnet, right? And then there is a DB subnet. Okay, so actually there is a one mistake, I guess. And okay, so DB subnet, I need to change the name here, DB, but I forgot it. So anyways, so just you assume that there is a two subnet. One app subnet is DB subnet. Okay, and then after that you go to route table. So that we have one public route, one private route. So inside public route, if we go there, let me go. Okay, and we come in subnet associations. So we have wave subnet here, right? We have subnet associations, and then we go to here route. Okay, so this internet gateway is assigned to this public route. Okay, now let's go to private route here and go to subnet association. So we have two subnet. Okay, one you can assume, since I have wrongly mentioned inside the variable file, that is why two app subnet is coming, but you assume one app subnet as a DB subnet. Okay, so two subnet is associated, and then we go to route, and there is a NAT gateway is already associated. Okay, we go to internet gateways, and that should be the part of our VPC. Okay, so this is the VPC ID, VPC hyper POC. It means we simply automated entire VPC just clicking one click, and it takes hardly 5 minutes. All right guys, so that's all from this sessions, and if you really like it, then don't forget to share and subscribe my channel. Thank you so much for watching this. You have a lovely day.